Question number 1. Which of the following is an advantage of using a hybrid cloud instead of a public cloud? So a hybrid cloud is a combination of a public and a private cloud. And the options are option A, ability to meet data residency requirements. Option B, ability to leverage infrastructure as a service and platform as a service, cloud service models. Option C, ability to reduce management overhead. And option D, ability to use cross-platform virtualization. So the correct option is, so I will display the correct option after this countdown. And the correct option is option A, ability to meet data residency requirements. And the explanation for this correct option as well as the incorrect option is, so a hybrid cloud combines the private and public cloud environments, allowing sensitive or regulated data to stay on premises that is private while leveraging the scalability of the public cloud. This helps organizations meet data residency and compliance requirements. So the other options, the incorrect options are leverage IaaS and PaaS, that is infrastructure as a service and platform as a service. So this is possible in public cloud as well. It is not unique to the hybrid model. Reduce management overhead. So public cloud reduces overhead more than the hybrid cloud, since hybrid still requires managing the private part. The third incorrect option is the cross-platform virtualization. So it is not a primary advantage of the hybrid cloud. Therefore, the main benefit of hybrid cloud over the public cloud is compliance with data residency requirements. Question number 2. A network administrator needs to ensure that a network printer always receives the same IP address from the DHCP server, even if the pool of available IP addresses becomes exhausted. Which of the following network configuration methods should the administrator use? And the options are option A, exclusion, option B, reservation, option C, lease, and option D, VLAN. And the correct option is option B, reservation. And the explanation is, so the correct answer is reservation, and the explanation is, so a DHCP reservation ensures that a specific device such as a network printer always receives the same IP address based on its MAC address, even if the DHCP address pool runs out. On the other hand, the incorrect options are the exclusion prevents certain IP addresses from being assigned. So this is different from reservation. Lease means it defines how long a device can use an IP address before renewal, but does not guarantee the same IP address every time. And VLAN separates network traffic logically, not related to assigning fixed IP addresses. So therefore, the administrator should configure a reservation which ensures that a specific device always gets the same IP address based on its MAC address. Question number 3, and a technician is troubleshooting a desktop PC that is connected to an uninterruptible power supply, that is UPS. The user reports that after every power outage, the system date and time resets. Which two of the following actions should the technician take to resolve the issue? Choose two options, and the options are option A, install a surge protector, option B, disable NTP, that is Network Time Protocol in the operating system, option C, repair the backup power source, option D, swap out the RAM, Option E, replace the CMOS battery. And option F, run a BIOS update. And the correct options are option E, replace the CMOS battery, and option F, run a BIOS update. And the explanation is, so the correct options are replace the CMOS battery. So the most common cause of daytime resetting after power loss is a dead CMOS battery which stores BIOS settings including the system log. Run a BIOS update. So a corrupted or outdated BIOS can also cause system time issues. Updating ensures stable clock management. So why not the other options? Install a surge protector. So it protects from power surges but does not fix daytime reset. Disable NTP in the OS. So it would make the issue worse since NTP, that is network time protocol, keeps time synced. Repair the backup power source. So the UPS only keeps system running temporarily. It does not maintain BIOS or CMOS time. And swap out the RAM. So RAM has nothing to do with the system time storage. So the technician should replace the CMOS battery and if needed, update the BIOS. Question number 4, a technician is troubleshooting an all-in-one laser printer that prints a vertical line only when making copies or scans. However, print jobs and faxes come out perfectly fine. Which of the following should the technician examine to determine the cause of the issue? And the options are option A, the corona wire, option B, the drum assembly, option C, the document feeder, and option D, the pickup rollers. And the correct option is, so think about the correct option, and it is option C, the document feeder. And the explanation is, so the correct option is document feeder. So the issue happens only when copying, scanning, not when printing. So a dirty spot or line on scanner glass or document feeder will show up as a vertical line in scans and copies, but won't affect regular print jobs or faxes. Incorrect options, the corona wire. This changes the paper during printing. If it were dirty or faulty, all print jobs, including normal prints and faxes, would show defects, not just copies. The drum assembly is responsible for transferring toner to the paper. Issues here would affect all output, not just scanned and copied documents. The pickup roller, so these feed paper into the printer. A problem here would cause paper jams or feeding issues, not a vertical line on copies. Question number 5, a customer reports that their tablet was recently dropped on the ground. There is a small crack in one corner of the display and the device does not charge when plugged in. What should the technician do first to begin troubleshooting? And the options are option A, perform a hard restart, option B, run diagnostics on the digitizer, option C, replace the battery, and option D, inspect the USB port for damage. And the correct option is option D, inspect the USB-C port for damage. And the explanation is, so the correct option was inspect the USB-C port for damage. So since the main symptom is that the tablet does not charge, the first logical step is to check the charging port for physical damage caused by the drop. If the port is bent, loose, or obstructed, the device won't charge even if the display still works. Always start with the most obvious physical issue before moving into deeper troubleshooting. Incorrect options: perform a hard reset. So a restart may help if the issue was software related, like the device freezing, but here the main problem is hardware charging failure after a drop. Run diagnostics on the digitizer. So the digitizer controls touch input. A small crack might affect touch later, but the customer's complaint is about charging, not touch screen response. Replace the battery. So replacing the battery is expensive and unnecessary without confirming the cause. The problem could simply be charging port, not the battery itself. Question number 6. Which of the following servers is used to collect data and information about the events from network connected hosts? And the options are: option A, syslog; option B, print; option C, mail; and option D, DNS. And the correct option is option A, syslog. And the explanation is: so syslog is a centralized logging server that collects and stores event messages from network connected devices such as routers, switches, firewalls, servers, etc. It's widely used for monitoring, troubleshooting, and security auditing. Incorrect options include print server. So print server manages and queues print jobs for printer but does not collect event data from hosts. Mail server handles sending, receiving, and storing emails such as SMTP, IMAP, and POP3 but not event logs. While the DNS server resolves domain names to IP addresses, it is not meant for logging host events. So the server used to collect data about events from host is syslog server. Question number 7. A technician is setting up a network and is deciding between using IPv4 and IPv6. Which of the following is an advantage of using IPv6 over IPv4? And the options are: option A, IPv6 requires manual IP configuration. Option B, IPv6 is only used in private networks. Option C, IPv6 offers a larger address space. And option D, IPv6 uses MAC addresses instead of IP addresses. And the correct option is option C, IPv6 offers a larger address space. So remember, IPv4 is a 32-bit, while IPv6 is 1 to 8-bit. So this means that IPv4 has 2 to the power 32 addresses, while IPv6 is 2 to the power 1 to 8, which is way larger than IPv4. And the explanation is: so IPv6 provides 1 to 8-bit addresses compared to IPv4 32-bit addresses, which means it supports an enormous number of unique IP addresses, about 3.4 10 raised to the power 38, solving the issue of IPv4 address exhaustion. Incorrect option. So IPv6 requires manual configuration. It is wrong. IPv6 actually supports auto configuration known as SLAAC, reducing the need for manual configuration. So remember guys, if you want to learn all these terminology in detail, you should check out my complete course on this CompTIA A Plus Core 1 as well as Core 2. The second incorrect option is IPv6 is only used in private networks. So it is again wrong. IPv6 is used in both public and private networks worldwide. And the third incorrect option is that IPv6 uses MAC addresses instead of IP addresses. It is again wrong. IPv6 still uses IP addresses. However, it can generate interface identifiers from MAC addresses in some cases, but that does not replace IP addressing. So the main advantage of using IPv6 is the vastly larger address space. Question number 8. A user is having issue when charging a device with a lightning cable. The cable is not recognized when it is plugged into the device. This issue is usually resolved by flipping the cable over. This issue does not occur with other devices of the same type. Which of the following would most likely cause the issue? And the options are: option A, the cable is failing and needs to be replaced. Option B, the charging port is dirty or damaged. Option C, the device needs to be restarted. And option D, the battery may be swelling and needs inspection. And the correct option is option B, the charging port is dirty or damaged. So the correct option is that the charging port is dirty or damaged. And the explanation is the lightning cable are designed to be reversible. So if the cable only works when flipped one way, it often points to a dirty, bent, or damaged charging port on the device. Dust, lint, or worn contact inside the port can prevent proper connection. Incorrect options include the cable is failing and need to be replaced. If the cable were bad, the issue would usually appear on all devices, not just one. The device needs to be restarted. Restarting won't affect the physical connection issue of the charging port. And the battery may be swelling and needs inspection. So while swelling batteries can cause charging issues, they usually show physical signs such as case bulging and screen lifting, not a cable orientation problem. So since the problem is specific to one device and depends on cable orientation, the most likely cause is a dirty or damaged charging port. Question number 9. While using a computer, a user reports that the system fan begins running loudly and the display starts to distort. Which of the following is most likely occurring? And the options are: option A, crashing applications; option B, overclocking CPU; option C, overheating; and option D, sluggish performance. And the correct option is option C, overheating. And the explanation is, so the correct option is overheating. And the explanation is, a loud system fan means the cooling system is working harder than normal. Display distortion can occur when the GPU or CPU overheats, causing graphical glitches or instability. Together, these symptoms strongly indicate overheating. Incorrect option. So the crashing application may happen as the side effect of overheating but does not directly explain the loud fan and display distortion. Overclocking CPU can lead to overheating, but the question does not state the system is overclocked. And sluggish performance could be a symptom of overheating, but by itself does not explain the loud fan and distorted display. So the most likely issue is overheating. Question number 10. A technician is installing Ethernet network cables above a drop ceiling in an office building. The ceiling space is part of the building's shared air circulation system. Which of the following cable types should the technician use in this situation? The options are: option A, shielded twisted; option B, optical; option C, plenum rated; and option D, coaxial. And the correct option is Option C, plenum rated. And the explanation is, so plenum rated cable is designed with a special fire retardant jacket that produces less smoke and toxic flames if it catches fire. Building codes require plenum rated cables in air circulation spaces like drop ceilings and raised floor used for HVAC, that is heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Incorrect option, shielded twisted helps reduce electromagnetic interference, but it does not meet fire safety requirements for air handling spaces. Optical fiber or fiber optic cable can be used for networking, but unless it is plenum rated fiber, it still won't meet building code requirements for plenum spaces. And coaxial is an older type of cabling not commonly used for Ethernet and does not address the fire safety requirement. So since the cables are being run in a shared air circulation space, the technician must use plenum rated cable. Question number 11, a technician needs to select PC components with a minimal number of visible internal cables. Which of the following should the technician use? And the options are option A, liquid cooling, option B, SATA drive connections, option C, wireless network interface card, and option D, modular power supply. Correct option is option D, modular power supply, and the explanation is, so a modular power supply lets the technician connect only the power cables that are needed for the build. This reduces cable clutter, improves airflow, and results in a cleaner build with fewer visible cables. Incorrect options through the liquid cooling. So liquid cooling helps with cooling efficiency and aesthetics, but does not reduce the number of power or data cables inside the PC. SATA drive connections still require visible cables for both power and data, so they don't minimize cable visibility. Wireless network interface card eliminates the need for an Ethernet cable, but it does not affect the internal cabling inside the PC. So to achieve minimum visible internal cable, the technician should use a modular power supply. Question number 12, a user reports that their laptop screen is showing vertical lines in various colors. Which hardware component is the technician most likely to replace to fix this problem? And the options are option A, liquid crystal display, option B, low voltage differential signaling or LVDS cable, option C, inverter, and option D, motherboard. And the correct option is option A, liquid crystal display or LCD. So vertical colored lines on a laptop screen usually indicate that the LCD panel itself is failing. This is a common symptom of a dead or stuck columns of pixels or internal damage to the screen. Incorrect options, low voltage differential signaling cable. So a loose or damaged display cable can cause flickering, no display or distortion, but usually not consistent vertical colored lines across the screen. Inverter. So inverter is used in old CCFL backlit display to power the backlit. If faulty, the screen would go dim or black, not show colored lines. Motherboard, so a failing GPU or motherboard can cause video issues, but those usually appear on both the internal and external displays. If the lines only appear on the laptop screen, it's not the motherboard. So since the problem is vertical colored lines limited to the laptop display, the technician would most likely replace the LCD panel. Question number 13. A technician is troubleshooting a degraded RAID 1 array. After confirming that the RAM and power supply are working correctly, what should the technician do next to further isolate the issue? And the options are: option A, rebuild the RAID array. Option B, run the check disk/I command. Option C, perform individual drive diagnostics. And option D, reconfigure the array as RAID 0. And the correct option is option C, perform individual drive diagnostics. And the explanation is, so the correct option was perform individual drive diagnostics. So in a RAID 1 array that is mirroring, data is written to two drives for redundancy. If the array is degraded, it usually means one of the drives has failed or is failing. After ruling out RAM and power supply issues, the next step is to test each drive individually to identify the faulty one before replacing or rebuilding. Incorrect option, rebuild the RAID array. It should only be done after identifying and replacing the bad drive, otherwise the rebuild may fail. Run the check disk/I command. So this command checks file system integrity, not the health of drives in a RAID array. Reconfigure the array as RAID 0. So RAID 0 provides no redundancy and would destroy data. It's not a troubleshooting step. So the best next step is to perform individual drive diagnostics to isolate failing disks. Question number 14. A technician receives a tablet with a bulging screen which appears to be pushed outward from the backplate. The device still powers on when plugged in, but the screen looks damaged and turns off when unplugged. What is the most likely cause of the issue? And the options are: option A, deprecated battery. Option B, malfunctioning power supply. Option C, broken screen. And option D, damaged charge port. And the correct option is option A, deprecated battery. And the explanation is, so correct option was deprecated battery. So a bulging screen that looks pushed outward is a classic sign of a swollen, failing or expired lithium battery. Swelling occurs as the battery ages or malfunctions, producing gas buildup inside the battery pack. This can push against the screen, causing distortion, damage, or even safety hazards. Incorrect option, malfunctioning power supply would affect charging but would not cause the screen to bulge outward. Broken screen is a damaged screen may cause display issue but would not physically bulge from the inside. Damaged charge port would prevent charging but it would not cause swelling or screen distortion. So the most likely cause is a deprecated or swollen battery which should be replaced immediately due to safety risks. Question number 15 and the last question in this video or this part of the video is that an administrator notices that a RAID 5 array is making clicking noises and they have identified the likely cause of the issue. What should the administrator do next? The options are: option A, review the logs to verify the theory. Option B, document the findings and outcomes. Option C, replace the failing drive. And option D, perform a full data backup. And the correct option is option D, perform a full data backup. And the explanation is, so the correct option is perform a full data backup. And the explanation is, in RAID 5, data and parity are striped against multiple drives. If one drive starts failing, for example, making clicking noises, the array is at risk. If another drive fails during troubleshooting, all data could be lost. Therefore, the first priority is to perform a full data backup before replacing drives or rebuilding the array. Incorrect options: review logs to verify the theory. So this is helpful, but with clear clicking noises, which is a strong sign of imminent drive failure, delaying backup could risk total data loss. Document the findings and outcomes. So documentation is important but should come after securing the data. And replace the failing drive. It should be done but only after backup is complete to avoid data loss during the rebuild. So the next step is to perform a full data backup to secure the data before attempting repairs. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. I will upload the next part of the video with next batch of practice questions soon. So see you in the next video.